Hello and welcome to study English for Oral Communication. I'm Sajivani Ventikon. Speaking in social context. Topic 6. Learning outcomes. Explain how to make small talk. Describe how to ask and give information. Give examples on how to make suggestions and recommendations. Discuss how to make requests and offer and respond to them appropriately. Extend invitations and respond to invitations. Demonstrate how to speak appropriately in cross-cultural situations. Well, according to the introduction, we must use word appropriately and speak politely. In our interaction with people, we sometimes make small talk with strangers. Sometimes with others, we seek information or we are clarifying by asking questions. So when answer question and also make suggestions and recommendations, we invite people to over to our homes on various occasions, and in turn we are invited. We thank people also for help that they have given us, and in turn others thank. So making small talk is a conversation about everyday topic, for instance the weather or sports. So such conversation is usually brief. We don't go to that much. It's brief, small talk. And the tense that you use, in making a small talk, we use different tenses depending on the subject matter. If you refer to something in the past, so that means you would use the past tense. So if you are talking about something in the present, that means you talk the present tense. You use the present tense. Just look at these small topics for you. For instance, these are some topics. You can take the weather. You can take books read, or the films, or the hobbies and interests. Also, you can take sports, food and restaurants, and also the education systems, and also the new items. So you can take them for your small talk. So asking for and giving information. We ask for information and we are asked for information. And from another words, we required to give information. And when asking for information, it is actually important to phrase the question carefully so that we can get the information we want. Like when you are making the question, it has to be very carefully. Like you phrase the question very carefully. And if you do it only, you will be able to get the information what you want. So when we respond to a question, so it is important to give the information asked for, like what they have asked. You have to listen carefully and you give the answer according to the question. The response should be relevant and also it should be brief and it should be to the point according to the question you will be answering, and try to avoid giving long-winded answers. So when it comes to making suggestions and recommendations, so look at this. We are often asked for suggestions and decisions, especially when we need to help solve a problem. For instance, if you look at the first column, giving suggestions. The second column, it is responding to suggestions. And the last column, it says the disagree. Like just try to read it so you will understand. Studies making recommendations, study some of the phrases used when one is a recommendation. The first column, it says give recommendations, and the second column you take one agree and the disagree sides, like responding to recommendations. Making questions, requests and offers. So phrases used to make requests and offers and possible responses. So making request, first column, and responding to requests. For instance, can, could, will, would you please, sure, I will, yes, of course. If you cannot, if you disagree, you would say, I'm sorry, I can't, kind of a thing. So try to read things. You can enhance your knowledge. So, extending invitation, there are many situations in daily life when we extend invitation to people. I mean, like we invite friends to visit us, so certain people to give a talk or other people to work on a project with us. Likewise, we will invite them. So, in turn, we are also invited to friends' houses to give a speech to a group or a participant in a task to participate in a task. Likewise, so sometimes we accept, sometimes we decline, often giving reasons also that why we are declined. Likewise, so these are useful phrases to extend invitation and response to accept or decline. So if you are extending an invitation, if I ask from you, would you like to do? Accepting an invitation, you would say, yes, I would love to. Yes, that would be wonderful. And decline an invitation that you don't like, it says that I'm sorry, but I can't because there's a reason. Likewise, try to read things, you would understand. And expressing thanks, that means when you want to say thank you to somebody, when you want to say give your thanks to somebody, expressing thanks is part and parcel of good manners. It is a good manner actually. A word of thanks goes a long way in expressing appreciation. So we have to learn that. You should learn to appreciate people. And at the same time, you need to know how to respond to someone who thanks you. Like for instance, if you give a ride, like if you take that person, so you would say thank you for the ride. So you would say in return, you are welcome, kind of things. Thank you for the help, I really appreciate it. So if you don't want to this thing, you would say okay, not at all. And also when you want to say thank you for the meal, you would say, oh, it's my pleasure. Likewise. So speaking in cross-cultural situation, like when people are cross-cultural, you have to know how to. So effective communication happens only when you understand and have respect for cultural differences. I mean, you must also be prepared to accommodate and adaptable in such social situations. So if you cannot accommodate or you cannot adapt in such social situation, it's going to be a difficulty for you. So when you interact with people from different cultures, religions, and ethnic groups, remember to be mindful of the following. We'll take the first one, the different social and cultural practices. The second one you can take is as the different significant religious holidays. The third one you can take it as a language expressions which may be difficult people of a different country to understand. So you have to keep them in your mind. So guidelines in social communication. So avoid figures of speech or idiomatic expressions. Instead of listed with undivided attention, say listen with attention. Instead of as tame as a pussycat, say tame. So don't use a fancy, cute or trendy terminology such as instead of hot chick, say beautiful girl. So use specific and accurate terms. Instead of go a little further down the road, say go 500 meters down the road. So exactly, that is a specific and accurate. So we try to communicate. And be careful of words which may have different meanings in different cultures or nationalities. We have to be very careful. This meaning can be, different meaning, and also the culture also different, and also the nationality. Avoid the use of slang like cool, which means in style. Avoid using abbreviation AT instead of itinerary, and acronyms MOE instead of Ministry of Education. So I think you have enjoyed the session, and that's all for today. Thank you so much.